小小母语，天涯尽头看流光飞去，不问何处是归期，即使情缘不负相思意，等待繁花能开满天际，只愿共你一生不忘记，我回首笑对万千风景。随风万里，几度不成来去，人面桃花长相依，又是一年春花成秋笔，莫谈明月笑多情，爱早难弃，你的眼不如洗，回首时小小母语，天涯尽头看流光飞去，不问何处是归期，即使情缘不负相思意，等待繁花能开满天际，只愿共你一生不忘记，我回首。
Just seeing if you guys are paying attention to the music. That was just another option when I put in the usual epic music, intro music. Yeah, it was just one of the side things. Okay, see how this sounds. Interesting. That's an ancient Chinese song. Wonder what they're talking about. Probably something to do with running water and dragons. You know how they roll. So, look, we had a minor relief rally in terms of risk appetite today in the Asian session, but it's quickly come undone going into the European session. Now, this is reversing some of the pairs. In particular, pound yen. I see a lot of you are trading that and talking about it. So, pound yen is a big cross these days that's related to risk appetite. It's probably a little bit cleaner than even Aussie yen, Kiwi yen in terms of the reaction to the market. Now, that means, you know, if you see stocks moving and you see the DAX say open, then reverse, and then break previous lows, then you can potentially look at it as the main way to play it. Now, if it's also in a downtrend, then it adds to that. Now, the pound itself tested 130 and rejected it, and the dollar yen tested 100 at 101 and rejected it, and we've still got that potential now to test this 100 level in coming days, if not tonight, given that the market probably suckered in a few more buyers, and you know, sometimes the market just needs a bit more stops to go after, right? And it's just like, okay, well, now we can. So it's definitely something. If we don't see a reversal in the DAX soon, then the pound and the dollar yen are probably going to gear up for a lower test. And so, yeah, I mean, look, the Mexican trade's working out well because Trump didn't do well in the debate, but the pound is still under severe pressure, and any sort of relief rally seems to be just that. I sort of got to suck it into buying the pound Swiss. I don't need too much encouragement to buy that pair. But that was definitely a mistake. I might actually hedge it with a little bit of pound yen, just to cover myself here. I've got this sneaking suspicion we are going lower, and below 130. Take out the low from yesterday, 129.60, and then the low from the target is obviously the low from the Brexit, which is like 128, 127 something, 127.50 maybe. 128.80. Okay, that's a little bit higher than I thought. Let's just check that with the. Sometimes the daily lies a little. Navigator. Data window. 128.70. Okay, it's a little higher. That's achievable today, yeah. A little bit early on the rally, right? I mean, really, the Trump not doing well in the debate doesn't seem like a sustainable reason to be buying equity and risk, right? This sort of price action is nothing surprising. The market had a little rally and then it sold into the next rally. If anything, it confirms the bearishness of the current market. You may want to play a little bit of short Kiwi on this as well. So I'll bring up the Kiwi, see if we can get a nice little entry on that. Alright, the thing about the Kiwi is we've got a pretty clearly defined stop. That makes it a little safer to hop in. So this is on expectations that the risk off rally comes back. And had a substantial rally in the Kiwi. Now that pushed the Aussie Kiwi back below 105. That's fine. May even want to sell a little bit of Aussie too. Aussie has come up to the top end of its range, and assuming that the highs are getting lower, then it's not bad selling up here. Let's have a look on the dailies, 4 hours, to see what I'm talking about there. Alright, so yeah, even selling the Aussie with a stop above 77 makes a little bit of sense to me in the current market. So I might do a little of that as well, just to get some exposure to the downside here. A little bit pound yen. A little bit pound yen. A little bit Aussie. Not as bearish on the Aussie as I am on the Kiwi. And stop at 77.10. And pound yen. Jesus. Stop at 70. Alright, so yeah, I mean, it's likely that the DAX is going to lead the US in. Now, US could play its own game, given it was a US election sort of debate, which propped the market. Let's just see how that develops as we're doing the update today. But it is more to do with risk on, risk off than anything else, and so you need to be watching stocks if you're trading any pair. That's for sure. Let's have get out some dollar yen. What are you talking about there, Willis? Oh, it's Jenny trolling me, is she? Alright, Jenny. Alright. Behave. Now, there's not much data this week, but you do have to keep an eye out tomorrow. There is going to be the start of the Yellen testimony. She's speaking for Congress. Now, they will ask her to explain a little bit more in detail why she didn't raise rates, also just the state of the economy. Now, there's also a lot of questions about whether the Fed is political or not. Now, they are supposed to be apolitical, so she may get a little bit of heat there from the Republicans that may sort of insinuate that she's not raising rates to keep economy stronger artificially, to keep sentiment higher, to allow the incumbents, the Democrats, to win. That's the sort of line they might take with her now. She's handled that stuff before pretty well, though. So I don't think she's going to get flustered too much. I think she can justify not raising rates just because the market expectations were low. You know, that didn't signal enough, and there was a bit of doubt there about the recovery. So you're getting some exposure to dollar yen short and pound yen short. Doesn't make sense to me. Makes sense to me. Just a little bit of Kiwi short as well. I don't see that this rally is sustainable if stocks roll it over. In fact, I feel there's like a 20, 30, 40 pip catch up to be done. Especially if the Dow goes and tests 18,000. Okay, that's that will definitely trigger that next wave. You're supposed to keep me accountable, mate. You're supposed to keep me accountable. Look, I'll tell you what. I said I was going to keep it till 110, right? And I got out at 105-ish. Nah, I'm not going to buy just yet. I'll buy a bigger pullback. Yeah? The divergence trade is beginning to happen. It's true. A lot of people are talking about the RBNZ cutting and RBA going neutral. So that's great, and there will be lots of potential here for the snapback to happen, but it had a decent rally. And it was pretty flippant. It was at the end of the week last week. I was like, okay, just cutting all the positions here, going into the weekend and look to reestablish. But yeah, generally, if you're going to hold a pair to 300 or 400 pips drawdown, you wanna get paid off on that. So. Yeah, I'll try to fix it, boys. It's random. It's been doing this a little bit. How's that, boys? Back? Yeah, look, I literally do not know what's going on there. That's like the third time in 2 weeks though that's happened. That's some weird stuff. How's that, boys? Back? I don't know if it's webcam, look, but do not know what's going on there. That's the webcam maybe. That'd be odd though. I mean, maybe it's interrupting something. But yeah, so the way we're playing it is short pound yen, short Aussie. I'm not sure where we're at there. We just talked about getting back into the Aussie Kiwi. Risk seems pretty off here. What's it like now? You got an echo? Don't be starting that. That was me just checking the stream. Alright, so we'll see how this plays out while we're streaming. Short Aussie, short Kiwi, short pound yen. Just leave the euro pound for a little bit. Euro pound is nearly put a double top in. Looks like we might head high though. The main trade for the euro pound, and I'm looking to add more next week if the services manufacturing PMI comes in good. That'll be my trigger. But yeah, right now we're focusing on the downside here and the risk. So the sustainability of the Trump-led rally, we just keep an eye on say the dollar Mexican trade. Now, I think a few of the in this trade asking how far it can go. We're looking for significantly further than what it's gone already. 1750. That's easily achievable, and it's positive carry, so there's no reason to cut early. It's not going to build up against you. And if the polls come out tomorrow, what we talked about yesterday is the polls after the debate have picked the winner for the last 40 years. So it is important for this particular trade, right? People infer. Yeah, the Aussie Kiwi we just talked about. Big River, we're getting long on the dip. I think the market's ready to buy dips now, so we'll play that out. What we will do though is just buy a little bit if we get filled, and if it gets back above that previous high, we use that as the okay, it's on sort of idea, and then we'll start adding more aggressively. Alright, it's fine to add to trades when they start going your way, right? That's actually how you make a lot of money, but the downtrend's still in control, so let's not get overexcited. In fact, let's put some stops in here. Gets to 103.50, I'll be okay. That's out, but I'm significantly less exposure, right, than I was when I bought that rally on the same trade. I do. Jackie asked me a question. How do we know market is risk off? So risk on, risk off is just what the stocks are doing in the particular session that you're trading in. So the market's risk off right now in Europe because the DAX opened here, fell back a little. That's okay. If we rally, then it's still risk on, but then fell right back through previous lows yesterday. Now the market was also risk off yesterday, and so this was risk on when the Asia turned into rally, and that's when you saw the pound yen rally. Okay, so during Asia it's risk on, pound yen rallies, and during the European session so far we've gone risk off, so we're in the pound sell-off, pound yen sell-off. So yeah, I mean it's just the market lingo for stocks up, stocks down. I'm short Aussie because of risk off, and also we're very high in this level, and it got rejected pretty quickly towards that 77. So that's going to deter the bulls, and it's relatively easy to put your stop here, and the risk reward's quite high. Alright, so we see how it develops. I mean that's what he's looking for, right? When you have that nice risk reward, that's sort of the main criteria when you get into trades. you can go against the trend. I mean, if you call the trend up in the Aussie, but it's more range trading than anything else. It's just been trending towards the upper end of its range. So it's wedging, but it's probably going to hold that. RBA next week will be dangerous for this trade, so you want to be out before RBA. If it's confirmed they've gone neutral, that'll be a trigger for the Aussie Kiwi to rally as well. So what's happening next week? Got the pound and the RBA on the same day that day. That's Tuesday. Next week. It's good to get that sentiment data from the UK, and that could be a trigger for our long rally. Our short Euro pound trades. Alright, but this week there's not much going on. We're just following risk sentiment. Alright, so that's the current market. Let's have a look at some of the trade ideas from the room. We'll see how people are playing. If you're watching this on YouTube, come across the Forex Signals. That's the room in front of us. It is free, and that is where we are chatting. So if you want to ask questions, you can. So this guy's buying on the break of the 4 hour, so a little bit higher. Okay, yeah. Look, that would be great. If it gets above there, I'd be buying too. It's not a bad trade. I like that. I mean, obviously, we'd love to have bought it 129.20, but yeah, we can't do that now. Class is following the trend. Can't be wrong following the trend too much. Where's he put his stop? What's the risk reward? Ooh, we scored 1-1. Surely we can find better opportunities than that. But yeah, he's following the trend, so he can't. I mean, even though he's going against my trade, he seems right now. The risk off has probably got another leg higher there. Dollar CAD long. Ooh, this one's dangerous. You've got OPEC around, right? So OPEC's going to move oil, and that's a huge rejection above 132. So even though risk is off, the dollar CAD buyers can't ignore that rejection. Yeah, that makes you think twice about buying the pound, the dollar CAD, for sure. All right, that's yeah, that's going to require now. That's going to require some serious risk off to push the market up there. That's yeah, that I think that's noticeable, right? That's I mean, that keeps me out of the game. I would rather just sell Aussie and sell the Kiwi and just wait for the OPEC, right? OPEC disappoints, yeah, we'll bust 133. Okay, making a little money on the pound yen. It's nice. Let's have a look at a couple more trades and we'll look at some research, guys. Same old story. Most of the research is probably going to be talking Trump, Clinton, but it will be interesting to see any OPEC talk in there as well. Gold is super hard to trade right now. Gold is like, you know, US dollar strength here, but safe haven demand. I mean, right now, earlier today, you saw gold fall on the risk on rally. Okay, so let's bring up gold just so we can know what we're talking about here. So in the risk on rally, gold fell, and then as we came into the European session, we saw that selling in the stocks. That's halted some of that. So where we go from here is anyone's guess. We're smack bang in the 1300, 1360 sort of range. It's almost untradeable right now, in my opinion, right? For me anyway. I just got no conviction there. Alright, Saruki got suckered into that as well. And let's have a Mujahideen. Muhammad Judah. Now this is too long ago to be of relevance. And what is that chart? Trade off that. That's crazy, mate. That's crazy. So in case we've missed anything macro-wise, let's have a little look at Jim Reed's update. Jim Reed's from Deutsche Bank. He always just talks about things going on. It's good if there's anything happen in the bond market, because I don't watch the bond market too closely, and a lot of the Forex streams and the Forex traders I follow, and the research I read and the things I look at aren't directly related to the bond market, so have to read a little bit of outside things. Alright, 62% of CNN viewers said Clinton won the debate. I don't know. I mean, it was pretty close in that. They both did what you'd expect, right? But I think Clinton won because she didn't react, and she held her own. And so that means that, you know, this is going to be a much harder for Trump than I think he thought it would be, and he didn't prepare. He just went in there being Trump. And so there was no gotcha moments, there was no zingers. I mean, there was a zinger against Trump. One of them was like, he goes to her something along the lines of, I know you've been preparing heavily for this debate. And she goes, yeah, I've been preparing for this debate like I've been preparing to be president. You know, so that was like, ooh, snap. You know what we're going to look at? We're going to look at Deutsche Bank. We're going to look at Deutsche Bank's price, because that's in the news a lot, right? We want to see how close we are to the critical 10 level. Critical 10 level being the level which is make or break for its lending. Right, so banks can't just lend on nothing, right? They've got to have equity. And below 10, ooh, Jesus. So this is a lot lower than it was in the financial crisis, the GFC. Oh God. I mean, this is all started because Merkel said they're not going to bail them out, and everyone's like, oh, what? You need a bailout? What's wrong? And then everyone starts selling, just freaking out. I don't know how they stop it now. I don't know how they stop it. Need ECB to come out. ECB came out and said, oh, I need consolidation to make banks profitable. The reason why we're looking at it is because it's unlikely this Deutsche Bank analyst is going to talk about it, right? He's probably been told not to talk about it, not to stoke it. But imagine if it gets serious, right? He has to talk about it. Yada yada yada, not much there. I've never looked at this. Let's have a. Retail crowd does not yet believe in the yen, over 80% net long. Yeah, this is dangerous, right? Retail crowd's rarely right. I wonder where the stops are. You'd think there'd be heaps of stops underneath 100. The low from the Brexit crash day was 99. That would be the first target, below 100. There's some China data coming up, but I think Mark's not too focused on China's data. There's some comment that China's data is starting to come a little bit stronger, but the profits data came in strong today. Nothing there much. Yeah, look, I think we're going to move on and just focus more on the stocks and more on what's going on with the Yellen tomorrow than anything else. The market is not really interested in anything else. Next week we'll turn our focus towards RBA, BOE data, the UK data, and then obviously the Fed NFP on Friday. Tomorrow we get the OPEC announcements coming out during the European session. That's going to create a little bit of volatility, but other than that, there isn't too much out there that you can get excited about right now. So just stick watching the stocks, remain short pound yen when stocks are falling. When they bottom and start to consolidate and then rally, you can take profit and maybe even go long, but the longs are more dangerous than shorts at the moment. Yeah, pound Kiwi is a great trade next week. So let's just make sure that the Kiwi fails on this little rally, because the buyers have to give up, right? The buyers have just been winning for years. And so we need the buyers to give up, and that requires new lower lows, and new lower highs. That would help the pound Kiwi become neutral, and then if we get some good pound data, then the pound Kiwi can start to rally. I mean, the pound's falling faster than the Kiwi at the moment, but obviously we're pretty absurd low levels. So yeah, I don't know. Bottom fishing on that one is the safest pair, but it is an idea. I understand it. The take profits when the DAX stops falling on the pound yen or trades. If you're looking just eyeballing a take profit, just then we looked at 129.10, say. There's nothing wrong with that. A little bit higher than last week. So, not too much further. 60, 70 points. Alright guys, that's enough for today. I'm going to try and fix my computer over the weekend, next weekend, maybe upgrade it again or look to get a new one. I do want to have obviously the video up when we do streams. Be careful here if you're stuck long. Got suckered into that early rally today with the Trump scenario. I mean, he can still rally if the US session plays differently to the European session. European session's obviously gone back to selling. So that's what you want to be looking at, guys. European session's obviously gone back to selling. Alright. Trade safe. We'll be back tomorrow.